Hey, Deserved listeners, Love is Blind. Let's watch.
Yesterday, Shayna called me and we were just essentially having girls talk, and she was just like checking in on how Shayna and I were doing. And I was saying, you know, we're doing really well. And essentially she was like, I have someone to hook you up with if things don't work out with Shane. But like, that was such a weird comment.
Yikes. Seemingly, she calls Natalie, acting like a friend and really trying to torpedo their relationship so she can get together with Shane. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it was innocent. But then she mentions, by the way, if things don't work out with Shane, I could hook you up with someone. So, yikes.
How are you? What's going on?
It's a safe space, right?
Always a safe
I thought we understood each other that way.
We do understand each other.
I thought we did. So
You
why?
thought?
Yes.
So that's past tense?
So yeah.
So like,
well,
what's pissing you off? Tell me what's pissing you off.
Trying to find Natalie a boyfriend or a guy.
All right, so good. He heard from Natalie that she was trying to find Natalie a boyfriend. I mean, that's maybe overstating it slightly, but not a lot. So he is saying, you know, that bothers me. So good for him. I think that's what he's saying. So if that is, good for him.
They told you that I said something that okay, so explain what she said.
Yeah, so she said that if me and her don't get along, you have a guy or like that finds her attractive or whatever it is.
So it was completely taken out of context.
Sure.
And I would if you want me to talk to Natalie, I would talk to Natalie and call her out because this is the honest.
Okay, could be that it was taken out of context. We weren't there. I guess we'll see how things go. But, you know, it certainly isn't a stretch to imagine that Shayna would have said something like that.
I did say those things. So listen, we get back to Chicago. Me and Natalie in our private conversation, I go, well, if it doesn't work out, I got a friend for you. Okay? It was joking around. And I said something stupid, which looking back on it, I shouldn't have said it. And I'm so sorry, because again, I was with Kyle. Like, I have no vendetta against you and Natalie.
Okay, well, she's saying she's sorry. She's not getting defensive, really. And, okay, I mean, I think she should probably at least admit to herself that offering that might have been coming from a place of hope that that Shane and Natalie would break up. So I don't know. I'm guessing eventually Shayna's going to come clean about that. And so far, Shane seems to be doing pretty well. He's just like, I mean, would Shane be at fault for going, maybe I shouldn't be with Natalie. Maybe I should be with Shayna. I mean, not really, given that they're all in the beginning of their relationships. But if Shane is going to stick to his decision, then he's doing pretty well so far.
This has nothing to do with me or you or what happened to us in the pods dating. I don't understand why she took that and threw it out of context and ran with it. I don't know if you guys are bored in your relationship, that you guys had to like throw me in there.
I don't know.
Yikes. You remember when I reacted, I don't know if you saw it, but Darcy and Stacy, Michael, who came at Georgie real strong, very aggressive, hostile. And I was talking about how with Michael, he seemed to know what he was doing. It didn't seem like it was the first time Michael had had a conversation like that. Probably because he might have needed to develop those set of skills given what he was facing earlier in his life. But this is a situation that is in that direction. I don't think it's entirely, but there's a way in which Shayna is playing this game that doesn't seem like it's the first time she's played it, but I don't know.
Oh, listen, I'm only going off what I heard.
No, you're her fiance, shouldn't you know?
But here's the deal.
Shouldn't you know her character?
I didn't even know this. I didn't know this even happened.
You guys don't talk about it?
No.
Because just think about what's happening. He sits down, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of angry at you because you offered to set up my fiance with a guy. And, you know, that upsets me. And then Shayna takes responsibility, but then says, why are you even talking? Are you guys bored? Or why are you inserting me into the... No one's you inserted yourself. And Natalie told him because they're a couple.
You don't think it's a red flag?
That we don't talk about you, like us three here? Like, what do you mean, I guess?
If that was my fiance, I'd be like, yo, you like this bitch or what? Obviously.
I mean, if you're Shane, you're like, dodged a bullet here. Like, wow. And I haven't shown all the clips, but I'll tell you that God, do I tell this specific story? Let's just say that there was a moment years and years ago where I saw some of my childhood friends, some friends from high school and whatnot, and it was illuminating how some people were exhibiting the same conniving, childish, teenage behavior that they exhibited, as an adult. Well into adulthood, they were still exhibiting that game playing that you'll see some teenagers play. And I remember feeling, when in high school, it would feel threatening, like, oh, they really know how to play the game of, I don't know, whatever you call it, teenage high school politics, mean girls kind of stuff. But as a full-grown adult seeing that still happening with someone, I thought, oh, that's so sad. I think we're seeing that right now.
Whatever.
What?
Nothing.
You okay?
No, I'm really mad.
I don't want you to be mad.
I am mad.
I know.
I feel like this is all bullshit.
It is. Hope it's not anger towards me or whatever.
I have nothing to lose here. Like, I had nothing but I care about you. You were like my number one.
Well, you never told me that.
Everyone will.
Okay, so if that's your point, then that's your point. If you if you really wanted to come there and speak truth and just say, hey, I'm into you, and I don't want to be a jerk face about you and Natalie, and if you guys are a couple, I don't want to stand in your way, but I'm just going to throw it out there and consider it an invitation, and then walk away and just be like, text me if you ever want to pursue a romantic relationship with me, feel free to hit me up, but I won't interfere, and God bless you if you. And that's the other thing, like, she's a deeply religious person.
Back me up on that. I don't know.
Sorry.
Why are you smiling?
Because it's
I'm shy.
You are so far from shy.
No,
I'm sorry about you and Kyle.
Yeah, and good on Shane. I mean, he's even trying to be nice, but he's not playing the game, and he's, just he's holding the line with Natalie. I mean, he could do more, right? He could be like, so just I'm in love with Natalie. I'm so glad that I chose her, and so there you go. I'm sorry that things didn't work out between you and me. He could say that, but he's doing great. He seemingly. I don't know if things get worse from this point forward, though.
I love Kyle though.
do you?
I think he's a good dude.
Do you? I knew deep down. You knew I knew deep down.
Oh, for sure.
I'm laughing because it's not funny, but like my parents were like, "Oh my God, you're gonna die." So like my mom's face was like, told me everything.
So I didn't really catch that. Let's rewind that. It looked as though Shayna was actively ridiculing Kyle, which is a pretty low blow. I mean, why? And you were engaged to him?
Like their faces, I was like, dude, like this is never gonna work. So
we could have told each other that right away though too.
Oh, you said it. You're like, how can you date an atheist? And so, anyway.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Okay.
I'm glad you came.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah, I mean, he's being a nice person. He has boundaries. He's, I think, uncomfortable. And he's not fishing for compliments. He's not, how much did you love me? What are you wearing? That kind of stuff, which I was terrified was going to happen. He's seemingly staying loyal to Natalie, which is commendable. I think. Is that what's happening?
I'm gonna lose when I say it then.
I want nothing but the best for you. I have nothing but love for you. Okay? I don't want to see you hurt. I care about you, and I don't want to put you guys in your guys' relationship in that light.
Well, now you give the quotes. So what's going on here?
Nothing.
You were all gung-ho about talking now you don't want...
Yeah, yikes. So she's like, relationship? Like, come on. And then he calls her out. Like, quote, why are you putting in quotes? Like, what's going on? Yeah.
I talk?
I feel like I'm being portrayed as a certain like villain in your guys' relationship, your guys' fucking fake-ass relationship. No offense, because it is a fake-ass relationship.
Wow. True colors. Wow. Wow, that escalated quickly. Interesting. Yeah, if you're Shane, you're like, wow, dodged a bullet. I've actually treated people who exhibit, I don't know, it's hard to gauge what's going on with Shayna, but I'll just tell you about this behavior that I've seen where you have so much attachment insecurity that, and so much insecurity, just general insecurity and shame about who you are, that, and you're so desperate for acceptance and love and connection and companionship and romance and stability and dedication, that when you attach to someone and like someone, you become undifferentiated. You hear me often talk about lack of differentiation, and it applies on two dimensions. One is our inner voices, our guidance system regarding emotion, our guidance system regarding intellect. We fuse those two together, but we also fuse with other people. And we have a hard time imagining that other people have different minds. And so when you lack differentiation, which is an outgrowth of mistreatment or lack of attunement growing up, and you also are desperate for closeness, you like someone, but you see them in a relationship, and because it doesn't, you can't feel it. You can't feel because you're not in the relationship. You can't feel the connection, and also you kind of want it to be fake. You're 100% sure it's fake, and I've seen this before, and it's a very strange, semi-delusional distortion that is, it's wishful thinking. It's like, I want it to be fake, and since I can't feel it, it must be fake. And that's, again, I hope you understand the lack of because when you're truly different, or you have enough differentiation, you can be like, well, I can't feel it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because those two people are different people than me, who feel different feelings than me. Whereas if you're fused, you're like, well, I can't feel it, therefore they can't feel it, because their feelings are my feelings and my feelings are their feelings. Anyway, so that's because she's sure of it, seemingly. Let's rewind this and watch it, but she seems sure of it, that it's fake, it's not real. And this, I don't know, but when I've seen this before, this is indicative of some pretty, high degrees of attachment insecurity and personality defenses to account for that insecurity. So this is interesting.
I feel like I'm being portrayed as a certain villain in your guys' relationship, your guys' fucking fake ass relationship. No offense, because it is a fake ass relationship.
You think ours is fake?
It is such a joke. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but I'm just being real.
Wow.
I mean, what? Wow. Imagine. So this is her true colors. This is what she probably has been thinking the whole time. And it's interesting. It kind of rewrites a lot of history with her. Because if she's capable of this, I mean, it'd be one thing to be like, I don't know about this. It's another thing to just conclude, because I would suspect that this is what she believes and tells herself and is convinced and doesn't have any ambiguity and is sure of it. And that's interesting. It says something about her personality. It says something about her fusion. It says something about her lack of differentiation. It says something about her defenses and the hostility you hear there, and the self-assuredness and the insult, the aggression there of, I'm sorry to offend you, but you're in a fake ass relationship. It's just like, and I think Shane has a boundary up and a wall up that's protecting him. He's not being open and vulnerable to her. But it's interesting. This show is interesting. It's interesting how this show brings out a certain side of people's personalities that we don't often see in other shows.
Why would you think that?
You guys are okay. I'll say this to anybody's face. It comes back down to our compatibility. You and Natalie's relationship, I'm like, if you guys think you guys are compatible, that is comical.
How could she possibly know anything about their? She just saw him face to face for the first time. She wasn't there during the pods. Is this racism? I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, given how ridiculous this is. well, I mean, there's nothing overtly racist about it. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if has something to do with, like, or even a subconscious bias on her part. Because I bet you anything, if you just put, you know, people who had never seen the show before, and you put Shane and Shayna and Natalie, and you said, you know, who's compatible here? I bet you anything 90% of people would choose Shane and Shayna are compatible just based on looks, right? So, you know, it's an illicit bias that a lot of people have, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's so dumb. But so I you know, maybe we'll see some, but it's one thing to, okay, fake relationship, you're incompatible. So, okay, if we give her the benefit of the doubt, she does have some data to back up this claim, because her pod relationship with Shane was extremely sexual and very playful, and they're both kind of out there with their personalities and extroverted and, you know, in the direction of Tool, as he would put it. And Natalie is not, right? She will state that. So from Shayna's perspective, she's like, how in the world are you compatible with Natalie? She's like completely different from us. But that's because Shayna saw a particular side, a very, I think, narrow side of him, a side of him, but a narrow side. And he showed and has shown since leaving the pods, you know, his full personality to Natalie. I mean, a lot more parts of his personality. So if we give Shayna the benefit of the doubt, we could say that she has that data to go off. But how would she from that conclude that their relationship is fake and like ridiculous and you should be with me? Like, you should be able to imagine, like, well, what do I know? I barely talked with him in the pods. Maybe they have some other thing. I mean, and maybe Natalie has some other thing. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.